Because I didn't come up with this idea on my own. This idea that a person can be born in the wrong body. But they have to admit, that's a fucking hilarious predicament.
Dave Chappelle has always been known for pushing the boundaries, but this time he's taken things to a whole new level. In his latest stand-up specials, he sets his sights on the heart of woke culture, tearing it apart in a way only he can. The woke community, Hollywood elites, and social justice warriors are all feeling the heat, and the backlash is intense. But here's the catch. Chappelle doesn't flinch. He's not backing down, even as the pressure mounts. Hollywood may not be happy, but the world is watching. The question is, how far will this go?
But I can't say the word faggot. And she said, because, David, you are not gay. I said, well, Renee, I'm not a nigger either.
Chappelle has this unapologetic way of pointing out the insanity of today's culture, especially around the woke community. In one of his bits, he talks about how he can't say certain slurs because he's not gay. Now, let that sink in. You can't even use the same language in comedy anymore, depending on your identity. Chappelle hilariously responds, well, I'm not an N-word either. The crowd erupts. But what's he really getting at here?
But you see, what I didn't realize at the time and what Kevin had to learn the hard way is we were breaking an unwritten and unspoken rule of show business. And if I say it, you'll know that I'm telling you the truth. The rule is that no matter what you do in your artistic expression, you are never, ever allowed to upset the alphabet people.
He's exposing the hypocrisy of modern society. We've reached this weird place where only certain groups can use certain words, and if you don't belong to that group, you're automatically the bad guy. Chappelle calls out the absurdity of this double standard. It's like we're giving certain people a free pass and others a muzzle, and people are tired of walking on eggshells.
You know who I mean. Those people that took 20% of the alphabet for themselves. I'd say the letters, but I don't want to conjure their anger. It's too late now. I'm talking about them L's and them B's and them G's and the T's.
Then of course, there's his famous alphabet people bit. Chappelle doesn't hold back when he says there's an unwritten rule in Hollywood. Don't upset the woke community. He jokes that they've hijacked 20% of the alphabet, and he can't even say the letters without conjuring their anger. And he's right, isn't he? Criticizing any part of the woke agenda is treated like...
People be surprised. I have friends, all kinds of letters. Everybody loves me, and I love everybody. I got friends who are L's, I got friends who are B's, and I got friends who are G's. But the T's hate my fucking guts.
Chappelle points out something no one wants to say out loud. The woke community is not some unified, harmonious group. The L's don't like the G's make fun of the B's, and everyone's got a problem with the T's. But guess what? The moment you bring it up, you're labeled a bigot, homophobic, transphobic, or worse.
My guess is the G's are driving that car. That makes sense to me, because there's white men in the G's. And these people are trying to get around discrimination and oppression. And you know how white dudes are. We know these roads. In fact, we built these roads.
He's not afraid to call out the inconsistencies, and he does it in a way that's both funny and brutally honest. His jokes about the G's driving the car and the T's making the trip take longer perfectly capture the tension that exists within the woke community. Yet, no one else seems willing to talk about it. Chappelle's genius lies in using humor to say what so many people are thinking but are too afraid to say.
And sitting next to the B's, all the way in the back seat by themselves, looking out the window. That's the T's. Everybody in the car respects the T's, but everyone also resents the T's.
And let's talk about his material on the transgender community. Now, this is where things really get heated. Chappelle jokes about how confusing it is to deal with the T's. He admits he's baffled by the idea that someone can be born in the wrong body, but instead of being vicious, he points out how comically strange it all is. Like, can you imagine thinking you were born in the wrong body? The man even says if he woke up in an Asian body, we'd all laugh. And he's right, we would. That's comedy, taking something absurd and holding it up to the light. But oh boy, did that stir up some trouble.
It's not the T's fault, but everyone in the car just feels like the T's are making the trip take longer. Anything the T's say gets on everybody's nerves. And then the T's don't even say anything bad. They just be in the back talking to himself. I'm hot. Shut up. Shut the fuck up, okay?
The trans community came after Chappelle hard. Activists and Netflix employees demanded he be canceled, but Chappelle didn't budge an inch. He stood his ground and said what many comedians are too scared to say: you can't control what people find funny. The crowd loved it, but the woke mob, not so much.
So the G's were just driving the car. Of course, next to the G's in the passenger seat is the L's. Everybody likes the L's, except for the G's. I don't know what that's about. I just know the G's don't like them that much.
He didn't mince words. Chappelle said, "It's not about the woke community, it's about corporate interests and what I can and cannot say." Exactly. This isn't about inclusion or equality anymore. It's about control. Who gets to decide what's off limits in comedy? And why is it that whenever the woke community is involved, people bend over backward to avoid offending them?
And the G's always say like little subliminal digs on them. It's unnecessary shit. It's not mean, but you know what I mean? They just be like, I wouldn't wear that. The only thing that breaks the tension between the L's and the G's are the B's in the back seat. That's right, there you go.
When Netflix employees protested against Chappelle's special, demanding a safe space, Chappelle's response was perfect. "I'm the only one who can't go to the office anymore. The man can't even show up to his own workplace because his jokes hurt someone's feelings." Really?
Just said I was hot. Could you pull over at the next exit? I need to use the restroom. There is not a restroom for you for 4 states, nigga. Will you just shut the fuck up so we can get where we're going?
Chappelle hits the nail on the head when he says this controversy isn't about the woke community, it's about corporate censorship. Companies are terrified of being on the wrong side of the woke mob. They'll cancel anyone who dares step out of line, all in the name of inclusivity. Chappelle's movie got pulled from film festivals because he was too controversial. They didn't want to touch him with a 10-foot pole.
And just when that car can't get any more tense, the Q's are a hitchhiker that they pick up on the road. Some white dude in booty shorts is walking down the freeway.
It's not that people actually think Chappelle is dangerous or hateful, it's that corporations don't want the backlash. They're playing it safe to avoid Twitter mobs and bad press, and that's what's really scary. We're not even allowed to have these conversations without someone trying to silence us. Chappelle sees that, and he's calling it out, loud and clear.
That guy might be one of us. Hey, are you okay? You need some help? And he come over there with them booty shorts leaning on the window. Hey, what's going on, fellas? Lady? Whatever pronoun makes you feel comfortable in the back.
Let's not forget the elephant in the room, cancel culture. Chappelle's made it clear he's not bending to anyone's demands. If you want to talk to him, sure, but he's not about to come groveling. He laid out his terms, watch the whole special, come on his terms, and admit that comedian Hannah Gadsby isn't funny. Now that's a mic drop moment if I ever saw one.
Yeah, I don't really know where I'm going. I don't know if I'm gay or I'm straight or whatever. All I know for sure is that I really want to get in this car.
The fact that Chappelle hasn't been canceled yet proves something important. Despite all the outrage, all the protests, and all the noise, he's still standing. He hasn't been silenced. In fact, his specials are some of the most watched on Netflix. Why? Because people are tired of being told what they can laugh at and what they can't. Chappelle isn't just a comedian at this point. He's a symbol of resistance against a culture that's gotten way out of control. In a world where everything is offensive and no one's allowed to have an opinion, Dave Chappelle stands out as a voice of reason, rapping wrapped in sarcasm, comedy, and brutal truth. He's not just making jokes about the woke community, woke culture, or corporate interests. He's exposing the cracks in a system that's built on fear, censorship, and hypocrisy. So whether you're a fan of Chappelle or not, you've got to respect his courage. He's not backing down, and he's showing the world that sometimes laughter really is the best weapon against a world gone mad. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this breakdown of how Dave Chappelle is destroying woke culture, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's keep the conversation going. What do you think? Is Chappelle right, or has he gone too far? Let me know in the comments.